welcome to episode 28 of Knitting Needles and Stems. I'm Carrie, I'm the host, and today is Sunday, February 8th, 2026. Today's segments will include works in progress, finished objects, knit-alongs, my patterns, how it works, and gardening. I'd like to welcome all of the new viewers. Thanks very much for checking out the podcast, and I'd like to welcome back all of my returning viewers. You can find me on Ravelry as Kabammer, K-B-A-M-R, and I also have the Knitting Needles and Stems group. And you can also find me on Patreon and Facebook as Knitting Needles and Stems. What's new? The big exciting announcement is that we are doing our very first knit-along. It is the Advent knit-along, and for this knit-along, you can make whatever you want, use whatever craft you like to use. I just ask that it's made from a set of minis that you bought as a set. That's it. It doesn't have to be an Advent set. It doesn't have to have been purchased this year, as long as it's a set of minis that came to you as a set. So hop on over to the Ravelry group. That's where we're having that. I'm looking for people who might want to donate some prizes. So if you're interested in donating a prize, then just hit me up. You can email me or you can private message me on Ravelry or post it in the group. You know, however you want to get that message to me, you can send it to me. Otherwise, I just can't wait to see what everybody makes. We've had people who are going to do socks, and one lady has already finished her hat, and she hasn't posted a picture of it yet, but she's already working on her second one, so that's really exciting. And the next thing is we're going to have a prize here on the podcast for 100 subscribers. We're only 4 people away, so tell your friends so we can get to that 100 mark. And then we'll have a nice yarn prize. You might be wondering what I'm wearing today. This is my Joy by Laura Simonson. I made this back in 2016. And it's made with yarn from... let's see, Psalm 23 yarn, and I bought this at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool in 2016, and this is just a natural gray color that they have. The wool is a little rustic, so it's kind of nice that you wear something under it. And I have my little frog buttons, because of course I love frogs. Don't remember where I got these from, but when I saw them, I knew I had to have them. And it has all these nice cables. The back is just plain stockinette. And it's really nice to wear on cold days like this. So, okay, let's jump right in to works in progress. I've been using my project calendar, so I've been working on a little bit of everything. The first thing that I worked on is my Mira River Wrap by Tammy Canavan Soldat. And for this one, I'm using my mystery cone of yarn. It is very, very lightweight. And this nice brown with some hints of reds and greens in there. And I got beads from Fire Mountain Gems. I have the label here. Fire Mountain Gems beads. Sorry, it's coming through a bag and it's a little blurry. But I thought that these little beads would be perfect for this brown yarn, and they absolutely are. I got a couple of pattern repeats done this time, so probably about 1.5 inches done this time. I'm going to start putting markers where I start, so that way I can actually see my progress, because this has taken me forever just to get to this point. And this is going to be a nice lightweight, but I think it'll be pretty warm scarf when it's done. I'm going to keep going until all of the beads are gone, and then I'll finish it up. So again, this is the Mira River Wrap by Tammy Canavan Soldat, and I'm using mystery yarn that I have on a cone and beads from Fire Mountain Gems. Since I don't have a local source for beads, I really like ordering them from Fire Mountain Gems because they have such a great variety. And all of their colors seem true to what I see on my computer screen. Which may not be true for everybody, but it is for me. So that works out really well. The next thing that I worked on is my Corner to Corner blanket by Sammy Bristow. This is the one where I'm using all of the weights of yarn, all of my leftovers, to use them up. So it is very colorful. It has pretty much every color you could possibly imagine. And what I'm doing to avoid having all of the ends to weave in is, if I'm able, I'm using either the Russian join to join them or a braided join. That's why you see all these little tails here that just need to be snipped. But sometimes I haven't been able to use either, and then I'll have to just weave those in, which isn't a big deal. But I did put a marker on this one so I could show you my progress. I've only progressed about an inch because although I am on all decreases, the rows are still really, really long. So this is going to be throw size. I think I decided like 5 by 4 was what I was going for. But this will be a really nice couch blanket when it's done. It has pretty much a little bit of everything in it. Any kind of fiber content you can imagine is in this blanket. Even my tinsel that I used for one of the tops that I made. So again, this is the Corner to Corner blanket by Sammy Bristow, using all of my leftovers in various weights. And the next thing that I worked on was my Ultimate Lounging Shorts by the Cumbrian Knitter. For these, I'm using Haiku Kobasi DK in Indigo. And I haven't made it very far on these. Reagan, stay back. Reagan is under the weather today, and she looks like she's under the weather today, so she's going to stay out. You can say hi from over there. Say hi.
Hi, Kendra.
Say hi to everybody else.
Hi, Patricia.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. We love you.
Okay.
You guys are so sweet.
Okay, go lay back down, sweetheart.
Okay.
Go lay down and relax.
Lay down, Dexter.
Okay, so I'm still working on the first leg. I'm trying to decide how long to make the legs, before I start on the other part of the shorts. I know I should get out some of my other pajama shorts and go by that, but it seems like a lot of my pajama shorts have really short legs, and I might want these a little bit longer. But they're going to be pajama shorts too, so maybe I do want them short. But anyway, so I did all the ribbing. I omitted the bubble stitches that the pattern called for, so I just did straight stockinette for the rest of the leg. I might go to 4 inches just to be on the safe side, and then I'll start on the other leg before connecting them together. So I like the Kobasi because it's machine washable and it's really easy to take care of, and it should be nice for pajamas. So this is the Ultimate Lounging Shorts by the Cumbrian Knitter, and I'm using Haiku Kobasi DK in Indigo. I actually bought this yarn. We were on a trip up to the North Shore of Minnesota, and we kept seeing these signs that said yarn for sale or something like that, or yarn store. So we stopped, and it was literally a little tiny yarn store in someone's garage. So it was a little bizarre, but it was really cool at the same time. So that's where I actually got that yarn. So that was fun. All right, the next thing that I worked on is Broken Jack by General Hog Buffer. For this one, I'm using Biscotti Yarns Bis Sock in colorway 190708. And I don't know why this heel has taken me so long to do, but I did work on it again, and I still have not finished my Fish Lips Kiss heel. The Fish Lips Kiss heel is by Socks Therapist. But I worked on it some more, and I'm still not done with the fish lips kiss heel. I'm almost done with it, and then I can do the heel on the second one, and then I can move on to the foot. So here's the second one. I have it locked up in the bag so I don't lose stitches. I should probably lock this one up too, but I haven't. So again, that is Broken Jack by General Hog Buffer using Biscotti Yarns Bissock in colorway 190708. And these are going to be my 4th of July socks. I'm planning on having socks for every holiday at some point, so I'm getting there slowly. All right, the next thing that I worked on is my Coziest Memory by Kimber Ray. This one, I actually added a bunch of balls of yarn to this bag yesterday. I've been adding 1 square per week on Saturdays when I get home from work. So this week I added this square, and the week before I added this square. So I've been keeping up with adding a square every week, and I do have some repeats. Like I said with this, if I finish using a fingering weight yarn and it's at least 5 grams, then I will use that one next. Otherwise, I have a lot of leftover fingering weights that are just waiting to be used. So I'll randomly grab, kind of hoping for one that doesn't really clash with the one next to it. And my plan for this is to do a stripe that is wide enough to go across my bed, and then I will add a stripe of black to the bottom, and then do another stripe of colored squares, and then a stripe of black, and then another stripe. So it'll be a striped blanket with mitered squares with a 1 garter bump stripe of black in between them. And then I plan to do the whole border in black. Probably just a regular garter stitch border, but we'll see if I start feeling fancy by the time I get done with it. It's definitely going to be a long-term project, because if I'm only making 52 squares a year and the average blanket uses anywhere from 500 to 1,000 squares, then it's going to take a long time before that one gets done. So again, that is The Coziest Memory by Kimber Ray. All right, next, during the Yarniacs podcast Zoom calls, I did last week, but not this week, made little scrubbies. I only got 1 complete, and this is just using crochet thread that I got from one of my friend's aunts when she passed away. My friend, I didn't know her aunt, but she gave them to me. So I decided making scrubbies would be a good way to use them. I was making snowflakes out of them, and although I liked the colorful snowflakes, I didn't really love the colorful snowflakes. So I decided I wanted to find a way to use them up faster. So I hold 3 strands together. You can see the 3 strands here. When one color runs out, I just add another color. I start with a magic circle. Let's see, I'm using a G hook, USG 4mm hook. And I start with a magic circle and single crochet 6 inside there, and then just increase 6 each row until I get to 60 stitches, and then I'm done. So they're just these little simple scrubbies. No pattern, that's just what I'm doing. Here's the one I'm working on now. You can see I ran out of 1 yarn and started with another color. So every one is going to be just a little bit different. Okay. Next, I worked on my Musselburgh by Isolde Teague. For this one, I'm using Knit Picks Felici in the Olive Juice colorway. And if you recall, Knit Picks Felici, they dye it, I want to say once a year, and that's all you get of that color is whatever they dye for that once a year. So I think I've only added a couple of rows, because this is my car project. It stays in the glove box of my car for when I'm sitting and waiting. So I always order my groceries. So when I'm sitting and waiting to get the groceries, I work on it. or when I'm sitting and waiting to pick up my youngest from any of her events that she goes to, that she participates in, like youth group or Timber Bay, then that's when I work on it. So this, again, this is Messelbura by Isolde Teague, using Knit Picks Felici in the olive juice colorway. And that's the same color that I used for all the socks that I made for the family last year. I still have a few more for you. Hope you're buckled in for this one, because this is going to be a lot of projects. All right, so next is my computer is frozen. My Nautilus Pompilius by Natalia Moriva. And for this one, I'm going to get the yarn out because my computer is frozen and it doesn't want to cooperate. So for this one, I'm using Fiber Optics yarn, cashmere, and the regular cashmere base is Morticia. And then I have the Unified Gradient Cashmere in Tangerine to Ultraviolet. This is a shawl pattern. Hey, that's enough. This is a shawl pattern that is worked using all short rows. So, see, I got the first tier of it done here. It kind of looks like a conch shell or something like that. And I'm working on the second tier, which is more of the solid color. You can see my colors changed. I've moved on to this nice red in here. And then it's going to go through all the way to ultraviolet. You can't see it too well because I've had to take it apart a few times. I didn't like how it looked where I was picking up the stitches when I did it at first, because there was orange showing through between the black and the new black. So I tried picking them up differently. I might have to sew up this little hole unless it blocks out. It might block together, but I don't know. But yeah, so you do a little section like this, and then you knit 2 rows of garter in between, or 2 garter bumps in between, and then you knit down and pick up 11 more stitches, and then you'll do the next section. And I assume it just keeps going like that, and you do decreases in between the sections on certain sections. So I'm assuming that it's going to get smaller like the first tier did as it goes. So again, this is Nautilus Pompilius by Natalia Moriva, using Fiber Optics yarn, cashmere in Morticia and Tangerine to Ultraviolet. Okay, next I'm working on Cuddly Critters by Lorraine Pistorio. This is for my charity bears that I make. I have 2 legs, and they have little feet. They're shaped, so that's super cute. And I think it starts at the head. I'm not 100% sure. This is what I have. I think it's the head. So this is Cuddly Critters, and I think there are 3 different critters, and right now I don't know what critters they are. My computer is super slow. If you know of any kind of Chromebook that is really good and reliable, please let me know, because I'm in the market for a new computer. Yeah, there's a bear, a rabbit, and a dog in the Cuddly Critters patterns. And they're these cute little critters that are wearing little sweaters. So I'll have to decide if I want to make a little pink sweater, because the theme is hearts or Valentine's Day or flowers. So either way, the purple is good, but if I could make a little pink sweater, that'd be really cute. So again, this is Cuddly Critters by Lorraine Pistorio for my bears that I make every month. And the bears get donated to my local Echo Health Center. Next, I started my Advent project, but just barely started it. This is Corey in for Advent Poncho by Amy Palco. And it is made using big needles. Right now I'm on the 10.5 US 10.5 needles, which is 6.5 millimeters. It starts with where you hold your yarn double. So I have two coming out of my main color. This is my main color from my Advent that I opened last year. So I have two strands coming out of there, and you knit for 3 inches with the big needles, and then you go down, I think it's 2 needle sizes, knit 3 more inches, and then go down 2 needle sizes again and knit 3 more inches before you start on the poncho. So that's all the neck. So it does have a turtleneck. I'm hoping it's not going to be too tight, because I'm okay with things on my neck if it's not on the front of my neck. If there's something really close to the front of my neck, I feel like it's choking me. So I'm hoping that it'll be loose enough. If not, I might have to go back and do some surgery on it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Right now it looks big enough. I have a little tiny skinny neck, so I think it'll probably be good. So this is the Lolo Did It L'Original in Eden. This was day 25 of the Advent. And then I have not balled them up. I have all of my little Advents in here. I'm going to use them in the order that they were opened. So I have each mini. This is the little Lolo Original, and each one is numbered with the number that it was in the Advent. So when I ball them up, I'll be able to keep up with what number is which. So that is Corey in for Advent Poncho by Amy Palco, using Lolo Did It, L'Original, and Eden, and the 2025 Advent, which the Eden is part of the Advent too. It was an add-on, so. Okay, next, last for my works in progress is my counted cross stitch. This is Day's End by Judy Gibson. I finally got it back out and worked on it again, and I made some progress. Don't know if you'll be able to see the progress, but I've been working on all of this. It's part of the rocks and going up to the house. So these are the stairs going up to the house, and then this is all just foliage to the side. Slowly getting worked in. I do work on it every Tuesday, because I do cross stitch Tuesday as part of well, I mean, it was part of a group, and then I think some people stopped doing it, but I've just kept doing it, because if I don't, then I'll stop working on it. And I eventually want to finish this, because it's going to be really cool. So again, this is Day's End by Judy Gibson, counted cross stitch. All right, let's move on to finished objects. I don't have very many finished objects. I don't have any knitted finished objects for you this time. I've been running through my calendar, working on all these different things, and haven't finished any of the knitted ones. But I finished my Let's Be Magical by Ursula Michael. It's done, guys. Look, it's all done. All I have to do is iron it and figure out a frame for it. I would love to have a nice spooky looking frame to put it in. Wouldn't that be awesome? And then I can hang it up at Halloween. So great. I really love it. It actually took longer than I thought it would to finish, because you know, you look at it and you go, oh, it's just a bunch of little words and there's not much kind of cross stitch. Well, there's more than you think. So I love the shoes and the little castle. Yeah, and the trees. I mean, everything except the spiders. I mean, they're there too, but I don't love spiders. But there's a piece of yarn on there. But I do love this. So again, this is Let's Be Magical by Ursula Michael. And I'm gonna get it framed and put it out at Halloween time. Hopefully. Sometime soon. Okay, and I also finished a Self-Control Snowflake by Jessica Wyfall. For this, I actually finished two. I finished one before the last podcast, and then I forgot to talk about it. So then I also forgot to mark it off of my list that I had finished it, and made another one yesterday. So this I used Aunt Lydia's metallic size 10 crochet thread in white pearl. So here are my two snowflakes. I actually got them blocked and stiffened yesterday. And I also stiffened, let's see, this is two. I stiffened 7 more that I had in my bag that were various different colors. So I didn't send out snowflakes to everybody on my list last year because I didn't think I had enough. But then once I counted them, I think I did have enough. I just didn't have the time or just didn't get them stiffened in time. So sorry guys that didn't get snowflakes in your cards. You'll get some this year. So again, this is Self-Control Snowflake by Jessica Wyfall, using Aunt Lydia's metallic size 10 crochet thread in white pearl. I don't know if you can see the sparkles in there, but it's just a little sparkly. So I really like this crochet thread. I'm glad I ordered it. That's all my finished objects. So let's move on to knit-alongs. In the Project a Month Cal group, we are working on the Vintage Button Hat by Haley Waxberg. This is our February 2026 pattern. It uses bulky weight, and I don't have a lot of bulky weight, and especially not in solid colors. So I'm sitting this one out and just watching everybody else finish their hats in that group. And the other knit along that I'm participating in right now is the Yarniacs podcast group, the Self-Indulgent Knit Along, or SIKAL. And that runs from December 21st, 2025 to March 20th, 2026. And that is from the winter solstice here in the United States to the spring solstice here in the United States. In other parts of the world, it's the solstice for other seasons. For that one, that's the one I'm using my Nautilus Pompilius for. And I think I can probably count my my Cori in for Advent for that too, because that's self-indulgent because I'm using up my 2025 Advent. I don't know that I'll finish either one of them in the time frame, but I'm going to do my best. So that's all the knit-alongs that I'm participating in besides the one in my group. I hope you'll jump over and check out the one in my group and at least cheer us on if you're not going to participate. All right, let's move on to my patterns. I sell patterns on Ravelry as Carried from Fleece. And I have a couple things in the works. My mystery critter for 2026 is in testing. The testing, I have one person who's already completed the testing. I only have one crochet tester, so if you're a crocheter and you would like to test this for me, it's due by March 15th, but I can be a little lenient on that because the pattern doesn't actually come out until April 15th. So if you are a crocheter who would like to test, or if you would just like to read it over and make sure it makes sense, there's one part that my one tester said wasn't clear in my written instructions. I would like to have it looked at by somebody else too. So if you're interested in just reading that part and letting me know how I can make it better, then let me know. I'm also almost done with the sample for my shawl pattern that I plan on releasing in December. So that's really promising. Maybe I'll get it out this December. I've been saying that for a couple of years now, but maybe it'll come out this December. So look forward to that. Let's move on to how it works. Okay, this isn't really a how it works, because I think we all know how to use a travel mug. I just wanted to celebrate this travel mug and let you know how great it is. When I got it in my Advent, I was really excited because it has Winnie the Pooh on it. You know, I mean, who doesn't love Winnie the Pooh? But I was like, oh well, this seems like it's not going to keep things very warm. Like it don't seem like it's going to be a great travel mug. Oh boy, was I wrong. Okay, so I got this coffee. I put it in here at 8:45, 8:30 this morning. Right now it is 11:49. My coffee's still warm. I mean, it's not hot. It's not gonna burn me by any means, but it is still warm enough to drink as warm coffee. And I didn't expect that. So I usually only use it on Sundays when I go to church because I'll take a cup of coffee to church with me. This morning I actually forgot it at home. So it sat here being warm, waiting for me to come back home and drink my coffee. So I just really love this. And I don't know if she has them in her shop. It was twice your cheap where I got that in the Advent. But if she does, you should definitely grab one of these because they are lightweight. They keep your coffee warm. The outside never feels warm. It doesn't get hot to the touch or anything. It was just, I really love it. So that's enough about that. Let's move on to gardening. I gotta show you guys Flowey. My oldest helped me name this plant. Before I show it to you, it looks pretty pathetic right now because it is kind of cold in our climate and in our house right now. I have it sitting on a heating pad, but it still looks a little pathetic. But this is Flowey. And look right here. Flowey is budding. I'm pretty sure my husband bought me this for our anniversary one year, and our anniversary is in April. And of course, when he bought it, it was in full bloom. Like it had blooms all over it. But I'm so excited. And it's only on this side. It's only those 4. There's no more little buds. But maybe there will be. Maybe there will be because this looks like it could be something right here. But yeah, I'm really excited. I'm wondering if Easter lilies are supposed to stand up more because when he bought it for me, it was standing up. So if you know if an Easter lily is supposed to be standing up instead of flowing out like the Christmas cactuses, I'm sorry. I keep saying lily. This is a cactus. This is not a lily. I said the same thing to him last night. This is an Easter cactus, not an Easter lily. Easter cactus. So if you know if an Easter cactus is supposed to stand up instead of splaying out like a Christmas cactus does, then please let me know. And if you have any tips or tricks on how to make it stand up, if it's supposed to do that, let me know that as well. I really think I'm going to take all of my false Christmas cactus, my cactus that I got from work, and this one, and put them all in terracotta pots because of those 3, which are, similar types of cactuses, cacti, I think. The one in my llama pot that's made of terracotta is doing the best. So I think I'm going to, at some point, probably after this one's done blooming, I know I don't want to interfere with the blooming. I'm going to transplant all of them into terracotta pots and see if they do better. But all of my plants are looking kind of droopy right now because of the cold. That's the only thing I can think of. I've bought extra lights for them. I've been watering them, when I'm supposed to. And I think that it's just because of the cold. So let's keep our fingers crossed that everything makes it through the winter. Because spring is not coming quite yet where I am. Groundhog or no groundhog, the spring is still more than 6 weeks away. Okay, well, that's all that I have for you today. Until next time, keep doing what you love. Bye.